Welcome to Unfit Statesman with Zach Brown.
Holy fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the fuck back to the show. Saturday night, or Sunday night, excuse me. It's been a very long day, folks. Very busy day for me. So much so that I have not had the opportunity to watch any fucking football this week, any of the week 14 matchups. That's all right. I'll get the late game. I'll get the Sunday night game. Eagles Cowboys. And we'll do it again. I tell you what, end of the fucking episode, we'll put a little parlay in, right? Put a little fucking multi-leg parlay, right? A little fucking, and when I say multi, I mean more than fucking three, because we play with the big boys here. We play with the big boys, right? You're fucking with the big dogs now, folks. I'm curious to know how many of my fans are fans of football or sports in general. I don't know, because you don't fucking comment or interact. Do you? You don't fucking comment or interact. You get in your fucking Hyundai and put this on while you drive around. What are you doing driving around? Where are you going? Why don't you sit at home and watch the fucking YouTube video that would help me? If you watched the video, I can't believe this. This blows my mind, folks. The show is growing its numbers only from an audio perspective. Meanwhile, I'm showing the moment I started actively and consistently showing videos on the episodes, all of a sudden the audio portion is growing. And the YouTube and Rumble and Rockfin have just done shit numbers, just the worst numbers you could ever imagine in your life. What's happening? Where are you watching? Like, what do you tell me? Where you're listening to this? I will request this one fucking time, and you never have to comment on anything that I do again. Although I would prefer it. Like, comment, subscribe. Gets the algorithm going. Gets the juices flowing. Right? It's like tongue in a clit. Doesn't going to necessarily mean if you do it once, if you just put the tongue on the clit for a second, it doesn't mean that you can necessarily just pile drive in. She might be pretty dry still, but it gets the engine revving, right? Let's get the juices flowing. Comment, and I don't give a fuck if you're listening to audio only now. Comment under the episode. How do you listen to this? Is it in your fucking car? Is it in your car? Is it when you work out? Is it when you go on your evening walk to get away from your bitch wife? I'm curious to know. It would help me format my show if I knew exactly how the overwhelming majority of my listeners are consuming my content. It would help me a great deal, right? It would help me a great deal. I had a very busy day today, and I didn't get to watch any football, and I'm drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper, little DDP, right? Little diet double penetration. Right? Little DDP. I'm going to put in a little Zindog citrus flavor. We're gearing up. We're gearing up, folks. And Lord knows if we make it to the fucking hour mark tonight, that's the Christmas miracle. That's the Christmas spirit. That's the holiday season in full swing, motherfucker. Tell me how you're listening to this. Tell me where. Tell me when. Tell me. Just give me some fucking context to help me format this show to have it grow. Because I'm sitting here like a fucking idiot adding videos to this and doing a video component. And the moment I add a video component and add video media, my assumption would have been it would grow on the video side. Nope. it's done just the shittiest of shit numbers. And we're somehow consistently growing every week from the audio side, which I appreciate. You know, I fucking appreciate it. But what the fuck are you like? How is that in any way sensical? I'm confused. I'm just a confused boy looking for answers. Right? I don't know why all the other kids like girls, but I like boys. I don't know. I'm a confused boy. I'm looking for answers. And if you can help me find those answers, that would be very nice. It'd be very nice. It's a cold, cruel world in these mean podcasting streets, okay? Just a confused wanderer roaming the earth for knowledge and wisdom and the answers to life's greatest questions, like how in the fuck is the inverse of audience growth happening when I could have sworn that adding a video component and videos to my podcasts, it would be the answer to growing it in a more equal way, meaning a more of a balance between audio and video. Consumption, it would be the word. But it has not happened like that. So I don't know. I have no answers. I thought for sure I would be able to get to the bottom of this. I haven't been able to, folks. I haven't been able to. Right? Like a woman detective, I haven't been able to solve the mystery. Very busy day, though, today. I was in ShopRite. It seems now I'm beginning to believe that I am not a person who is likes confrontation. I do not like to get in situations where I find myself publicly in a verbal disagreement or any type of disagreement with people. I like to do what I have to do because it impedes on what I have to do, right? Outside of all the other negative negative realities of being in a conflict in public with somebody, I don't like getting it slows down what I'm trying to do. And it seems as though even though I'm trying to avoid it, and just like everybody else, even though you try to avoid it, it happens every once in a while. And I would like to think that it's never my fault, but I never really know. And this was a situation where I wasn't entirely sure if I was in the right or the wrong. So I was checking out of the self-checkout at the grocery store, and I scanned something that was open. I didn't realize it was open. There was like a little slice in the bag, and it was open. And so I went I tapped the screen, and then I said delete item, and it said you have to wait for assistance. And if you've ever been to a self-checkout thing, there's like a heads-up display status that shows, like, if you're on the green light, that means you're available. If you're red, just a consistent red, you're in use, and if you're blinking red, it means you need help. And so I was standing there waiting and looking, because the moment I get it, I look and try to like raise my hand to get their attention. And so I'm fucking standing there for 10 minutes. And so I just leave. Hey, cunt. Get down. The fuck? My cats are fighting. My one cat got a surgery, and so they were separated for a while, and cats just can't handle any separation for any given time. Otherwise, they'll just start to fucking hate each other, because cats hate everything and everybody. Nothing you can do about it. Standing in line, or standing at the thing, scanning, need help. I'm trying to, finally, this fucking woman who I can only describe she looks like a colonial era New England Wiccan approaches me. At first, I thought it was just a random shopper. I was like, "Oh, maybe she's just gonna come over here and try to help." No, it was a person who, yes, and she was dressed like what you think she was dressed at. Like she had like jeans that showed more of her leg than covered up her leg, just with all the rips. She had an extremely tight polo on and pale skin, dyed pitch black hair, black makeup, not black face. That I would have been more satiated with, to be quite honest. But like super black eyebrows and dark eyeliner, and it just, somebody who's seeking the dark arts, but really just needed a little bit more of a present father, And she comes up and says, I swear to Christ, she goes, "What? What? Bitch." Oh, I could, how low hanging fruit of a joke you make, right? You by looking like that, everybody knows the outlet is, I know your pussy stinks. Every bitch who looks like that, their pussy stinks. Everybody knows that. You've given me this low-hanging fuel, this fruit, this robust harvest, this fruit, this juicy fig that I could have fed into my mouth by a fucking slave. You've given me that. And I didn't take it. I did not tell this woman that her pussy probably stinks, even though it definitely fucking does. That's probably the reason why she has to have so many rips in her jeans. The doctor said you cannot have pants that are fully concealed because your pussy needs to air out. That shit is gross. It's probably for medical purposes. Right? You need a rip at the thigh, the knee, and the shin to make sure there's some type of airflow going into that fucking black hole. That fucking sulfur pit. In the background here, you can see that I have guitars that I don't play. I don't know how to play guitar. I tried, but I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't know why. I don't know if I don't have. Really, it was just me quitting. But all of those guitars and the little ukulele, they all have that little hole in the middle. And if you look, if you're watching on the video, this is how I incentivize you to go to the fucking video, folks. There's little holes in the middle, and it just looks like a black hole that leads to nowhere. And that's what her pussy is like. And it's about that fucking size, too. It's probably about that fucking diameter. Bitch probably could fit the butt end of a wine bottle in there. She's gross. And her pussy probably stinks. And that's low-hanging fruit, right? But I said nothing. I said, well, I scanned this and I need to delete it from the bill because it has been punctured. And so she scanned her top secret clearance badge into this self-checkout machine and then deleted it. And then before I started to ask a question, I said, if I want to get, do I leave and go get another one now? Or do I have to fully check out and go back and get it and then stand in line again? Because it's fucking Sunday night. And a Sunday night in any of the ShopRites in Essex County, New Jersey, it's a fucking, it looks like Gaza. There's shit on the floor. You can't fucking move because it's just densely packed. Jews are there. A lot, Jews are there and you don't really want them to be, right? Sounds like Gaza. It's basically Gaza. Children are crying, right? Mothers are screaming. Men are shell-shocked from whatever type of trauma they've just experienced. It's a horror show. It's a fucking nightmare zone. And so I was like, do I have... And she starts walking away in the middle of my fucking question. And I went, hey. And then she turned around and was like, what? And I said, what is the procedure here? Are you going to go get this for me? Or do I have to check out? Or should I just leave it here? And she goes, I don't know. And I was like, okay, but you can't tell me this is the first time this has ever happened. You can't be completely... This can't be a completely abstract idea to you that this could happen. Or ShopRite in general, right? There is certainly a point in your ShopRite career, right, that you were told how to handle this. And this smelly cunt bitch just said, I don't know, and she turned around and walked away. And I had at that point, because at that point when I said hey and I was speaking to her, I wasn't speaking to her in a nice tone. I was speaking to her in a very rude tone because I was frustrated. You don't fucking turn around and walk away in the middle of a fucking question. But was I in the wrong? Is that something I should know? Is that information I should know? Should I just assume that I should finish checking out and then go get it and get back in line? Is that is that a courteous customer behavior? Or should I have a little bit of expectation that if I say, hey, I wanted this and it was punctured, which is your fucking guys' fault for putting it on the shelf, should I expect her to go get it? Should I have any expectation of her outside of, resetting the thing, the kiosk, and allowing me to continue to scan? Am I in the right? I'm not gonna say either way, right? She was a cunt. Her pussy smells, definitely. She doesn't wash out her fucking piercings, and they probably get infected once a fucking month. So she probably is always, swabbing all of her holes with fucking, what do you call it? Ear cotton, ear cotton, whatever. What the fuck are the two ear picks, earplugs? I can't think of the name of a very common hygiene tool. Cotton swab. No. I don't know. I'm blanking. But they probably dip it in alcohol and fucking... God, her hair was greasy as shit. She never washes it. It's been raining all day, and it looks like she just came back out of the rain. Because her hair was so fucking disgustingly greasy. Her forehead was shiny, greasy. I mean, if she goes 2 more days without showering, BP will be knocking at her door and saying, we need to wring out your hair for oil. They'll fucking lock her up in a cell and extract all the fucking disgusting body oils they can fucking find to make a profit. What a disgusting emo goth bitch. She needs to reconnect herself with the Lord. Probably. And I shouldn't be saying these horrendous things on the Lord's Day. It's a day of rest for us fucking devout followers of Christ. It's a day of rest. But I'm no perfect man. I'm not a perfect man. I did watch the 10 Commandments with my girlfriend. It's a 4-hour-long fucking movie from like the 60s. Not bad. I don't like those types of things usually. Not horrible. I watched 2 movies this weekend. The 10 Commandments, which is the length of 3 fucking movies. And then I watched Interstellar. And although neither one of those are sequels or part twos or prequels or, a part of any type of series, it did get me thinking about, a lot of very recently Hollywood, not recently, but yeah, I mean, kind of recently, Hollywood's done like woke remakes of movies, right? We got to make Little Mermaid black. We got to make Ghostbusters all women. We got to fucking, got to make Stephen Hawking a trans person in a biopic. We have to fucking, James Bond has to be a black guy or a woman. Or there has to be more women superheroes, right? It's a recurring theme in particularly in remakes or part twos or thematic universe like Marvel and like what's the other one, DC. And I noticed, I made the very real, keen, astute, some may say, observation as to why this will never work. And you can, by the way, obviously there's the fact that it's woke and people are sick of woke shit. That is a factor. But let's ignore that for the time being. It's because when people have already seen something and they liked it, perhaps they connected with it in some way. If there's going to be a part two, a sequel, a prequel, just another movie that is in line with the theme of that story, what they want to see is the same character that they know go through a different storyline, take on a new challenge, embark on a different journey. They want to see the same person that they knew and watched go through the experience, the arc of the last movie, and put them in a different situation and have them see how they handle that, right? That's what they want. What the woke movies are doing is the inverse of that. They're having different people go through the same storyline, right? They're having different, I mean, yes, technically it's the same character, but it's not the person who played the character, so it's obviously very different. So in the minds of the consumers who are exposed to these new woke remakes, even like I said, brush the woke shit under the rug. Whether or not you give a flying fuck about woke shit or whether or not Little Mermaid's black or whatever, you're taking a character that the original audience is not used to, which, by the way, the original audience are the people that are going to show up to the prequel, the sequel, part two, whatever. And you're replacing the main character that they know and they have in their head, and then just putting them through the same thing that they saw the other person go through, right? The other version of that character that they had in their head. The original version. It's the inverse of what people want to see from a part two, prequel, whatever. People like to see the same character being put in a different environment, facing a different challenge, overcoming a different battle, embarking on a new journey. They want the same character, different circumstances, not the other way around. And the woke algorithm is new character, same circumstances, and that just doesn't work. So there's been a blame. I think, a lot of the people on the right were like, well, these movies, people are sick of woke. And it's like, yeah, probably. But I think that's actually less of a factor than the fact that they just have formulated this movie algorithm that is the inverse of what people are interested in seeing in these, additional movies right? If every time they made a Jason Bourne, it was the Jason Bourne was a different character, but he went through the same exact plot line of the first one, nobody would have fucking watched it. You got to have Matt Damon in there, right? You got to have Matt Damon in there, and he goes to different countries, and he is attracted to different women, and different fucking, sects of the U.S. government are after him, and they're involving new people and new tactics to get him, and how he reacts to those tactics are different, but they're in line with his character, and he is the same character. It's just through and through just a poor formula for garnering an audience, especially when the main audience of part twos, prequels, whatever, are the people who watched the first fucking movie. It's just a bad fucking, it's a bad form. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work, right? Forget the woke shit. Let's just, even if you didn't do it as a woke thing, like let's say, Ghostbusters made a remake with all fucking, I don't know, white supremacists or homophobes, right? If the Ghostbusters remake was with members of the Westboro Baptist Church, but they just did the same movie, nobody's going to watch that. Now, do a Ghostbusters movie with members of the Westboro Baptist Church who are only hunting for ghosts of homosexuals past, right? Only hunting the ghosts of those who were so brave to defend our country, but also like to suck dick. Now we got a different movie. That's a different movie. That's a different plot line, right? You could have done an all-woman Ghostbusters if you would have changed the ghosts that they were hunting, right? If you would have changed the all-woman Ghostbusters to them hunting down, I don't know, men who spurned their advances, or, I don't know. I wish I had a joke for this, but I don't. Pick any stereotypical women thing and put it. This is your ad lib for the day. If there was an all-woman team of ghost hunters, what types of ghosts would they hunt? The founding fathers to fucking suck them into their vacuum and explain to them how fucking sexist they were and how they're tearing down the patriarchy, right? If it was a group of white women under the age of 30, they would be sucking in the ghosts of slaves and then saying they were freeing them. They were doing the work of the white ally. But that's the problem. The problem isn't even necessarily that it's woke. That is a factor, but it's not even that. It's just the inverse of any reasonable person's urge to watch a second movie of something they've already fucking seen. Will Hollywood take my advice? Of course not. I always give them advice, but they never take it. Politicians never take my advice. Hollywood never takes my advice. Nobody ever takes my advice. And neither do you folks. I've been advising you to fucking like, comment, and subscribe. So even you don't take my advice. You don't perceive me as a trusted advisor. Speaking of movies we've already seen, we are moving full steam ahead into election season, which is always fun for me. I enjoy election season, right? It's fun. things happen. Politicians make fools of themselves. People get all riled up on Twitter, and I see it on my timeline. And by the way, what a time for Elon Musk to bring Alex Jones back. The December before the heart of an election cycle. Man. What a time. But we have seen this before. As of right now, it's going to be, I don't know. Some people say Trump and Biden. Some people say Biden's at the very last minute. They're going to say he can't run. They might do a Gavin Newsom for the Libs, maybe do a DeSantis or a Vivek Ramaswamy for the Repubs. It's not going to be Chris Christie. Man, what a fucking retard he is. What an idiot. But nonetheless, I decided I wanted to share with you folks my ideal presidential ticket. Okay? The big three. Here's what I want. I'm going to name to you who I want for president, who I want for vice president, and who I want for the president's chief of staff. Okay? And I have exhibit A, B, and C to justify my reasoning to you folks. I know you folks are committed to reason and rationale, and that's why I wanted to provide my reasoning. Okay? So, let's start with president. Who do I want as president? I think you know who I want as president.
Debate. They asked Ted Cruz, serious question, well, what do you think of waterboarding? Is it okay? And honestly, I thought he'd say absolutely, and he didn't. He said, well, it's, he's concerned about the answer because some people, she just said a terrible thing. You know what she said? Shout it out because I don't want to. Okay, you're not allowed to say, and I never expect to hear that from you again. She said, I never expect to hear that from you again. She said he's a pussy. That's terrible. Terrible.
What other reasoning do you need? So, Zach, I don't like his policy. Libs will say, oh, he's racist. He's a sexist. Libertarians will say, yeah, but he keeps advocating for the printing of money, and we probably shouldn't trust him after his first fucking 4 years. He's extremely pro-Israel, almost blindly. Takes, he puts people in positions of power that don't deserve it, much like his fucking son-in-law, Jared Kushner. What? Okay. Fair enough. But also...
You know what she said? Shout it out because I don't want to... Okay, you're not allowed to say, and I never expect to hear that from you again. She said, I never expect to hear that from you again. She said he's a pussy. That's terrible. Terrible.
So there's also that. That would be my rebuttal to you. The fact that he basically Kanye'd us. If you remember that video where he was like, and I was misdiagnosed by a doctor of, I can't say the race. It was a Jewish doctor. He said, I can't say it. It's a horrible word. But she said he's a pussy. What the fuck else do you need from a leader? I enjoy my leaders impulsive and somewhat childish. I enjoy leaders who expose the ridiculousness of the presidency itself. Donald Trump is who I would ideally like to see for president. For vice president, let's take a listen.
And just wanted to stop by to congratulate you on finally transporting your dead husband's spirit into a mannequin. I know you tried for years, but you finally got the right person to help you, and I'm so glad you did, and you were able to make it happen. I want to wish you and Jacob the best ever Christmas, since now death will never keep you guys apart ever again. I'm so excited for you. Look, the whole gang at Cold Stone Creamery love you. I love you, and I look forward for you to enjoying and making all those new memories now with your new beau, Jacob, in his new vessel. Bye.
For those of you who aren't watching the video or are watching and don't know who that is Representative George Santos from Long Island. This is a man who has been caught lying about multiple things, about him being a volleyball player at I don't even know what college, his mother dying in 9/11, lying about being a drag queen in Brazil. I think, in fact, he was exposed for taking campaign funds and spending it on OnlyFans too. I think he's a bisexual or gay. I don't know. One of the not straight. Okay. He is a perpetual liar, and he has empathy. He has empathy for the woman who transported her dead husband's spirit into a mannequin. You know what level of empathy you have to create a cameo congratulating a woman who works at Cold Stone for transporting her fucking spirit into a mannequin? That level of empathy should be strived for. I mean, Gandhi who? Nelson Mandela who? Martin Luther King who? Horton Hears a who? I've never in my life been exposed to a person with this amount of empathy. And that's what we need in the vice presidential seat. End of story. End of story. I'd like to listen to that from the beginning.
Hey, Suzanne. Just wanted to stop by to congratulate you on finally transporting your dead husband's spirit into a mannequin. I know you tried for years, but you finally got the right person to help you, and I'm so glad you did, and you were able to make it happen. I want to wish you and Jacob the best ever Christmas, since now death will never keep you guys apart ever again. I'm so excited for you. Look, the whole gang at Cold Stone Creamery love you. I love you, and I look forward for you to enjoying and making all those new memories now with your new beau, Jacob, in his new vessel. Bye.
She's going to stick mannequin parts up her pussy. I'm not entirely sure what the rest of that consists of and how the spirit gets transported, but there will be mannequin parts in that woman's pussy. Maybe Cold Stone Creamery can do a fucking chant about that. And the chief of staff and my personal favorite politician of all fucking time. I mean, he takes the cake with damn near no competition. I mean, I would say these three politicians that I will have shown you are by far my favorite in the entire world throughout history. This one leaps and bounds in front of the others. My choice for Donald Trump's chief of staff.
Prostitute. Alana is not a prostitute. She's a friend, and it makes me sick how people are saying this. So unfortunately, I have no other choice. I'm the last one to take legal action. I can't put up with it anymore. So I've named the names. Litigation will be starting shortly. I've had enough. That's why I warned you guys yesterday. Be careful what you wrote. Okay, so that's all I have to say for now. And the next thing I want to call Mayor Britannia in Hamilton and tell them that we're going to have to spank their little tiger cats. Oh, and the last thing was Olivia Gondak. It says that I wanted to eat her pussy. Olivia Gondak. I've never said that in my life to her. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home.
What about drinking and driving, Mayor? What about drinking and driving?
Oh, a man of reason. A man of balance. A man who turns away from excess, right? He said it himself. He's got plenty of pussy to eat at home. Why the fuck would he need to shop around, right? A parental figure driving past McDonald's. Say, let's stop at McDonald's, Dad. He goes, we've got plenty to eat at home. For those of you who don't know, that is Mayor Rob Ford. Rest in peace, I believe. He was the mayor of Toronto from I don't know when. He was a bit of a gallivanter, right? One who gallivants. He was a fun lover. He did smoke crack. He did drive drunk. But he loved his city. And his wife. I don't know, that Olivia whoever, bitch, he doesn't need to eat your pussy. He's got pussy at home. Right? My favorite politician of all time, ladies and gentlemen, Rob Ford. And I would like him, unfortunately, at this point, you guys know that this can't be the true candidacy, the true ticket. But if I had it my way, that's how I would have it. I would have President Donald Trump, Vice President George Santos, and Chief of Staff, former Mayor Rob Ford. It's good to sort of do the technique of positive visualization. Everybody knows that our political system is completely fucked, probably unfixable, probably no way to stop what's going to happen, which will be the inevitable downfall of this once great empire we call the United States of America. The economy will collapse. Politicians will only get more corrupt. Wealth gap will continue to grow. Homelessness will continue to grow. Unemployment will skyrocket. Automation will cause not only the loss of jobs, but the ease of access and control over the general population by government officials. Wars will rage on as a source of income for the government officials. The CIA will continue its overreach, both domestically and overseas. U.S. military bases will continue to cause instability in different parts of the world, which in turn causes instability here at home. The drug problem will continue to increase. Antisocial behavior is on the rise and will continue to rise. The level of education that our children are getting will continue to diminish. The ability for the younger generations to climb the income ladder, the socioeconomic ladder, the hierarchy, their ability to reason will continue to decrease. Their mental health will continue to decrease. The mainstream media will not get better at providing accurate or relevant information to the general populace. We will continue to skyrocket our population of the obese. We will put way too much stress on our electric grid with all of these green bills being passed. Our data will continue to be stolen. We will continue to become less and less independent. We will get sicker. We will take more pills. We will eat more fast food. But it's good to visualize what could be. All of those three were alive at the same time at one point. The technique of positive visualization. Donald Trump is president. George Santos is vice president. Rob Ford is chief of staff or secretary of state. He's a versatile man. You can put him anywhere. It's important to, while realizing all of what is most certainly coming, all of the negatives and all of the detrimental prospects for the future of this country, it's good to stay optimistic. It's good to visualize potential solutions. And that's just one. That's thinking from the top down. That's a general overview of what we could do to help save this country, right? Trump, Santos, Ford. There are other ways. We just got to be creative. We got to think outside the box, right? We got to think outside the box. We've done it before here on this show. We've done it in an attempt to implement a peaceful solution to what's happening in the Middle East. And not every one of them is going to be a fucking green check, right? There's going to be some red X's next to your ideas. But the idea is to brainstorm. Present an idea. Look at it from all different perspectives. Critique it. Hone it down. Present it in a more refined state. And then compare it to all the other ideas. And then take the cream of the crop. Right? I presented two groundbreaking political ideas on this show, just within 8 episodes of the revitalization of Unfit Statesman. 1, my Middle East policy of the World Mall. And 2, providing a presidential cabinet that could most certainly solve all of our problems within a year. You're telling me that having an ex-drag queen liar who's on Cameo, doing cameos for mentally ill women, that's not a potential solution? Right? I mean, the vice president that we have now is probably the mentally ill woman he's speaking to. She has about the intelligence. Kamala Harris has a similar intelligence of a woman who works at Cold Stone, who believes that she can transport her dead husband's spirit into a mannequin. That's about on par with who we have in there now. So why shouldn't we take the person who empathizes with that person? Isn't that person, but empathizes and is willing to connect to that person. President Trump. Donald J. Trump. He didn't want to say pussy, but he did feel that he had to relay his supporters' message. That's all he was doing. He wants his supporters' voices to be heard. So that's why he repeated. He said, I don't want to say it's a bad word, but I need to make sure that my supporters are heard. I need to use my platform to ensure that my demographic, my people, the people who support me, feel as if they're being heard. And that's exactly what he did. And Rob Ford, a man of honor and decency, responsibility. He's not friends with a hooker. It's just a friend. What, men can't be friends with women anymore? I mean, challenging sexist stereotypes, right? He's a man of family. He doesn't need to go out and eat pussy, right? He doesn't need that fast food pussy bullshit. He's got fucking food at home. He's got pussy to eat at home. There are solutions to the problem, folks. There are solutions. Not saying it'll be easy, but we can find them. We can find them. And I think we're working toward that. We're doing a very good job of that. Problem is, how do we get the American political system's attention? I don't know. Perhaps, folks, we need a marketing strategy. Perhaps, folks, we need you to go like, comment, and fucking subscribe so it gets more fucking attention. How about that? Maybe we need more people who are willing to go watch the videos. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming. I'm attempting to be a provider of solutions, provider of wisdom and knowledge, spiritual guidance. That woman in ShopRite needs some spiritual guidance. She needs other things too. Might be a pH balance thing that's making her pussy stink. She probably should visit a doctor. Right? She should probably visit a doctor. But we love her too. Empathy's the game. On any given day, one might be willing to judge a woman whose dead husband, his spirit was transported into a mannequin, and then you go over to that person's house and she has a beautiful cheese platter with different meats and cheeses, and you're sitting down, there's a mannequin in the corner. You go, what the fuck is that? What is that mannequin doing in the corner of your living room? You say, that's my husband. Your first reaction might be to immediately exit and never speak to her again. But I don't think we should do that. What I think we should do is encourage her to get an OnlyFans and broadcast to the world her taking the parts of that mannequin and sticking them up her pussy for money. She no longer has a dual income household. She's taking care of herself. She get a side hustle. She sticks mannequin parts in her pussy and says, it's fine. This is my one true love. This is my one true love. My one true love is fingering me. Yes, he needs some help. Right? But he is. And I can financially capitalize on that. There are solutions, folks. They're out there. You just gotta grab them. When you have that beautiful spark of an idea, that flash of genius, hold on to it, write it down, ponder it, pontificate, refine, and then share, compare, critique. Get over to the YouTube channel, the Rumble, the Rockfin. Please start fucking watching the video. And if you're not going to do that, at the very least, you could fucking comment under this episode on the audio platform, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever the fuck else, and just tell me how you fucking listen to this. I'd like to format it a little bit better. Okay? How the hell are we supposed to get our genius solutions out to the public if we can't fucking grow this pig? But I do appreciate the added viewership on the audio side. Any new listeners, throughout the history of this podcast, I've often made fun of people who interact with podcasters or shows or whoever online. I'm taking that all back. Now you should do it. Now you should do it. Comment. Say something. Right? Not the N-word. Don't say that. But anything else, I think you're probably pretty good to say. Just not the N-word. YouTube, Rumble, Rockfin, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, folks.